Welcome to Calm Nation.
One once told me
Like-
that the reality I thought I knew was just one of many. Be careful which path you travel down. Stronger than you have lost their way. You think there will be no consequences? We're in the end game now.
I sacrificed everything. And it meant nothing.
Oh, Strange. What have you done? I never meant for this to happen. You cannot control everything. You wrote this on yourself.
You break the rules and become a hero. I do it and I become the enemy. This doesn't seem fair.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Rated PG-13. Be the first to see the mind-bending phenomenon in premium large format and IMAX tomorrow.
Okay, it's not tomorrow.
No.
And hey, JJ, glad
Well.
you could join us.
Maybe in some reality it's tomorrow.
Yeah, yes. So,
As you
welcome
know. Welcome.
to Calm
Thanks for coming.
Nation. Normally we do the bit where we sort of talk about us first and then we talk about the book, but in case that trailer doesn't make sense to you, we're going to talk about the book first. Tonight we are going to be doing House of M by Brian Michael Bendis and Olivier, I can't pronounce his last name.
Capiel.
There are bits, like some of the graphics that you see when the world is dissembling reminds me of some of the House of M covers. There's parts of the House of M storyline that very clearly served as an inspiration for some of Wanda's actions. House of M centers around Wanda. So,
Yeah.
but again, normally, not that we're normal, but normally this is the part where we say, good evening!
And welcome to Cobb Nation.
Yes,
Thanks for coming.
If you are here for the first time, welcome. We're glad you're here. And if you're, coming again and again and again, like our friend JJ,
thanks for coming back. Love having you.
We do.
Regardless of which universe you came in from.
Exactly. Just make sure you're not double parked.
Right.
So again, we keep trying to make this every time we say, and we actually mean, we're trying to make this better. One of the things is we do take suggestions. We don't always, we love suggestions. We don't always make a game around them. But House of M was one of the ones that came up in a couple different conversations with folks that we really should delve into and really should, and so we did.
Dusted off a few tomes and checked it out.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's not something, if you're not familiar with comics and you're not knee deep in the Marvel universe, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you don't get. It's very much inside baseball, but yeah,
still has some fun stuff.
And it's a very dark story, but the fun is that it reimagines a lot of characters developments, a lot of relationships, and that's fun to sort of see that, or it's interesting to delve into that corner of the character.
Yeah.
Oh, and hey, again, normally in the beginning we sit there and say, we have a Facebook page. Please like our Facebook page. Please follow our Facebook page. We have a YouTube channel. Please like our YouTube channel.
Subscribe.
Please,
hit the bell.
Please subscribe. Hit the bell. There's a subscribe. There's a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
And yes, I'll get to the rules, young man. And hey, we're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. Yep. Now, hey,
all of those.
the one thing I want to say is, Todd, I want to ask you, what do you do when you're having a really bad day?
I
'Cause-
sing. To quote
And then all of us are having a really bad day.
Guinevere and King Richard from Camelot.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Because when Scarlet Witch is having a really bad day, things
doesn't
blow
sing.
up. Lots and lots and lots of things blow up.
Yes.
Singing might have been a better option. Like we were saying, House of M, it's a dark, but it's an epic tale. It's not, it's, you better, if you don't know the Marvel Universe inside and out, you won't understand. You know, it's
Hello.
like the artists seem to have watched Kingdom Come, which is way more fun if you know who all the background characters are.
Yeah.
So, but essentially the very simple premise is Scarlet Witch is struggling with some mental health challenges, is having a super bad day, and stuff blows up.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's important to recognize and say that Scarlet Witch is not the first character
No.
to struggle and fail and fall. Bucky Barnes. Everybody knows Bucky Barnes ended up being a villain for a little while.
But then he got better.
And then he got better. And we also all remember Jean Grey, who had issues coping with the near-death experience and the resulting empowerment of the Phoenix Force. That was a little much for her.
The Dark Phoenix. And then she became something else.
And then, you know, a little less known, but still out there. Angel lost his wings. The X-Men. Angel, the character, lost his wings. A bad guy. Apocalypse gave him new wings, but then he turned him evil. That was bad.
Horseman.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, when Green Lantern, over in the DC universe, when Green Lantern got a little bit cranky, well, you know what he did?
Wiped out all the other fellow Green Lanterns, most of the Guardians, stole all the rings, became an evil force called Parallax.
Just in case you're wondering how Kyle Rayner got the job.
Yeah.
And hey, you know, Sue Storm, the super mom of Marvel's first family, the super mom of Marvel's first family, was once known as
Malice.
And when she was Malice, Sue Storm, she was running around in like leather and studs and oh my heavens.
Yes.
She
was influenced by a clone of Hitler, so.
As you do, you know. Clones of Hitler are bad news. Anyway.
Always.
Everyone has a bad day. Everyone has a bad day. Hopefully you are having a good day.
Yeah, because we're talking comics.
Or at least hopefully we can make your bad day better. And if you're having a bad day, please, Wanda, just drown your bad feelings in ice cream like I do, and don't warp all reality and create new worlds to inhabit.
Right.
Raw. Butter pecan, little sprinkles, caramel sauce, all good.
Mm-hmm. Much better.
So skipping over, we got rules, we got regulations. You should really check them out. They're on our website, com-nation.com.
Yep.
But you know, you're smart folks. You can figure it out. Even if some of you just eat Dutch chocolate ice cream.
Or Rocky Road. If you're having a rocky road in life, have a little rocky road in a ball. Why not?
There you go.
There you go.
All right, we're going to get started.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
When was Scarlet Witch's first appearance?
Way back in the day.
Okay, so the first appearance of Scarlet Witch was X-Men number 4.
Yes. That would be the Lee Kirby X-Men number 4 from 1964.
Exactly. Lots of 4s in that. Now, originally, Scarlet Witch just had the ability to alter probability. As it was described to me, she would point to you when you would have bad luck. You would have a bad day.
Yes. The
That
irony of it all.
obviously changed.
Hmm.
Since like the 80s, she's been a powerful sorceress,
Mhm.
and um
Fully
and-
embrace the witch part of her name in terms of actually practicing
yeah. Now
magics.
that's the comics continuity. In the MCU, in the movies, she was just a plain ordinary refugee who volunteered to be experimented on by Hydra, and the Mind Stone amplified her natural ability. And she now, in the Marvel universe, she practices chaos.
Right.
Chaos.
Yeah. And originally,
Scarlet Witch was
a little blue
she was
because she was
green.
down. Oh,
She was green.
yes, she was.
So here's our thoughts. Nobody can really. We've done the research. The people involved have been asked many times. Many times. You know why?
Yeah. Why?
Why? And Todd's got a theory.
I do, which largely comes from back in the day when, in the Golden Age and into the early Silver Age, all the heroes use the primary colors because they're kind of bright and bold. That's why Superman's red and blue, and Batman's primarily blue, and Wonder Woman's and
Red,
Captain America. Red,
yeah. If you red, yellow, blue, the primary colors, you were the
Right.
superhero.
So then the opposing or the villains usually end up getting the secondary colors, which is why you got Joker in purple and green, and Catwoman in purple, and all those other
Riddler
characters.
in green. Yeah.
So
I
because of
think the
that,
assumption
because she
was
was originally
made.
showing up as part of something called Evil Mutants.
Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, which did not seem very woke.
No, they decided, well,
Siblinghood.
maybe they should, put her in something that's more sinister.
Red.
Dark green.
Yeah. Dark green can be sinister.
Yeah. But then somewhere in there, somebody read the actual book and went, oh, wait a minute. They're calling her the Scarlet Witch. Huh?
I know. Do you remember when she had that short hair? That was bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, next question. What's Scarlet Witch's brother's name?
We mentioned that Brotherhood.
Yeah, Evil Brotherhood. It's Pietro Maximoff, better known as
Quicksilver.
Who there are
also initially had a green, but then blue, but then green costume because
wardrobe change. Yeah. So by the way, you can probably name superheroes named Peter. You can probably name superheroes named Piotr.
Rasputin,
but
Colossus.
Yeah, exactly.
Member of X-Men.
But can you name a comic book character or a superhero or supervillain with the first name Pierre?
Like Lucky Pierre?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Lucky Pierre is an old-time Marvel character. Used to hang out with Iron Fist. But my personal favorite is Pierre Dentifrice, who hangs out with Howard the Duck.
The Duck.
Pierre is better known as Le Beaver. And
yes.
She's Canadian. Because Canadians, they walk among us.
Those crazy Canucks.
One of the many Canadian villains.
Mm-hmm. Or heroes. I mean.
Villain.
Actors.
Who is Scarlet Witch's father? At least according to this book, because it's been 10 minutes.
And it's about to change.
Yeah. So, during the 60s, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were supposed to be the children of Django and Marja Maximoff.
Maximoff, yes.
Later,
but apparently that was adopted. children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because then,
And then-
later they found out
And
that
then
they
in
might
the
actually.
70s, in the 70s, it was said that their parents were the Franks.
Right. Bob Frank, who was the wizard, and Madeline Joyce Frank, who became Miss America, who were actually heroes from the 50s and may or may not have been mutants of their own. So,
Yep.
retcon
And then
number 2.
and then no, I think we're up to
Or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then in the 80s, it was
Mhm.
decided that Magneto was their father.
Right.
Now, this book was published in 2005 when it was very, very much, obviously, they're
Yeah.
Magneto's kids.
Yeah.
But in 2014, 2015, and maybe even up to 2017, it was revealed or decided that Magneto's not the dad.
Right.
I mean, it's like, this is like a talk show. And in fact, Django and Marja are aunt and uncle.
And
So
Magda's
it's a
the
little
remote.
confusing.
Yeah.
And no wonder she's having little issues. She's having bad days.
Yes, indeed.
In addition to the
speaking of family-
brother, Scarlet Witch has a sister.
A sister.
Yep. The answers, if they would have popped up, your options were Lana Lang, Linda Lewis, Lorna Dane, Lucy Lane.
Right. Well, no, Lucy Lane's actually Lois Lane's sister. That's not it.
Yep. Linda Lewis, and Linda Lewis, Lana Lang. Anyway, the answer is Lorna Dane, which always makes me giggle, like Lorna Doone, except Lorna Dane.
Yep.
She is the daughter of Magneto and
Has green hair. Styling.
green hair, and she's also known as Polaris. She was played by Emma Dumont in the television series The Gifted. Her abilities much more sort of, you can see that that Magneto gave her abilities much more.
She's even called Mistress of Magnetism at one point in time.
So, and she's in this book, and
Yeah.
Magneto's family keeps growing.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
now previous to House of M, who isn't dead? In Avengers Disassembled and the X-Men book before this, people kept dying. They were dropping like flies.
They were. Hence,
And-
disassembled. To quote Johnny Five.
But Wolverine makes it. Ant-Man and Janet, Ant-Man and the Wasp were like ripped apart and presumed dead. Hawkeye gets taken down defending against a invading alien ship, and I think it's a Kree. Vision is literally ripped apart.
Yes.
Which,
Talk
again,
about your bad day.
yeah, so Wanda's having a super bad day. But Wolverine comes through unscathed. Canadians,
Just bounces back
they walk among us.
again and again.
And Wolverine first appeared in what publication?
Of all things, initially Incredible Hulk.
Incredible Hulk. Now, for an
Yeah.
additional no points, which number of the Incredible Hulk?
He first shows up in the last panel of 180. And then makes the big splash debut in 181 when he's actually on the cover.
Yeah. Now, again, when I was saying this is a little inside baseball, you've got to really know what's going on to enjoy. One of the pictures that Wolverine has is when he's sort of when he's waking up in the new world and he's having the flashback. He has, they have a little montage flashback where relevant moments in his life, and
Mhm.
he remembers. He remembers he remembers Hulk.
Yep.
So
He remembers the time before the time
mhm.
of the House of M.
And he's one of the few, but not the only.
Yeah.
Now, what's Wolverine's real name?
Tip for you. It's not Logan.
Yeah, so Logan is thought to be a code name, although sometimes, depending on the storyline, it's the name of his real father, not the name of not the name of the husband of his mother. That's fun.
Yeah.
Awkward family dinner.
Mhm. So he fits right into this story.
Yeah, I know. James Potter is Harry's dad.
Yes.
James Trotter. Come on, James Trotter. James and the giant peach.
Right.
That James. His
That
last
James,
name's
yes.
Trotter.
Yes.
And James Wilson
is another
hung
hero.
out with House. Yes.
Yes.
Well, more of a sidekick, but still.
Yeah.
But yeah, his name is James Howlett. Occasionally James Logan Howlett. Sometimes Canadian. I'm sorry. Sometimes Weapon X. Always Canadian. They walk
Always
among us.
Canadian. If you want to know the whole story about that, there's another book called Origins you can read. It's also an interesting book.
Not to be confused with the movie.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. They're drastic.
Now, House of M starts where? Genosha.
Genosha.
Yep.
The Iowa nation of Genosha.
Yeah, sometimes it's a mutant sanctuary, sometimes it's a concentration camp. But for this story, it's where things begin. By the way, Genovia.
That's where the princess. I've forgotten her name.
Diaries. Yes.
Princess, whatever she is. Yeah, Anne Hathaway, Julie Andrews, all that good fun stuff.
Exactly. And Gilead, as I'm sure you're aware, that's from The Handmaid's Tale. That but Gilder. Gilder. They're the sworn enemy of Florin.
Right, from The Princess Bride. Inconceivable.
Like
we don't know how that word uses. Yeah.
So Simon Wilson, he's on the Avengers.
Yeah, he pops up in the story a few times.
Yeah. And Simon Williams, I'll tell you the truth, that's one of Todd's favorite characters.
He is. He's a lesser known but fun character. Wonder Man.
Yeah. If you don't know who Wonder Man is, you will.
Mm-hmm.
According to the internet.
And when you're on the internet, always right.
Always right. Marvel is working on a show, a Disney Plus show, I assume, all about Wonder Man.
Supposedly, yes.
Yeah. Wonder Man was first introduced in 1964, same kind of year as these folks.
Originally meant to be basically as a villain to go up against the Avengers with his iconic energy. And as typically was the case, a lot of times ended up going, wait, these are the good guys. Those Masters of Evil over there that I'm working for, not so much. Maybe it's the name Masters of Evil.
Yeah.
So
he
switched sides.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if Wonder Man ever dated She-Hulk, but he did date Captain Marvel, which is actually referenced in House of M. But the part that Todd loves the most about this story is the actor rumored to portray him.
Yes, supposedly Nathan Fillion finally gets a chance to be an actual Marvel hero on screen as opposed to just the voice, which he's already done, the voice of him in MODOK, and he's been the voice of another alien in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. And they used his face, supposedly, if you look somewhere in the background of Guardians of the Galaxy number 2, on a movie poster starring Simon Williams, but Look closer, you'll miss it.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason why that we like this pairing, which hopefully turns out to be true, is like Wonder Man is portrayed. He was trying to be a successful actor. He was trying to
Mhm.
be, he was trying to be a celebrity. He was, he's a
Yeah.
very upbeat, peppy kind of guy.
Exactly.
And Nathan would be an awesome choice
Would be.
if anybody cares what we think.
Right. Just throwing it out there.
So the Avengers, they're flying a what now?
Because most of them don't fly on their own.
Although
there's some-
technically, if they had the ornithopter, they could, because the ornithopter, that's the aircraft that has flapping wings. So that's the one that when you see it, there's like a bicycle type thing or something involved, and the guys are like pedaling their hearts out and like making the wings flap. And by making the wings flap, it flies. And yeah, very not heroic looking, but kind of cool.
They're kind of cool.
Todd and I would like to remind you that
We all want
should any
gyrocopters.
like if you have an extra gyrocopter or 12, we'll take one.
Whether
It's also
the
known
one-
as it's also known as an autogyro or a gyroplane.
Yeah,
And it's a rotocraft that uses an upward rotor in free auto rotation to develop lift. So it's got, you know what it's like? You remember having those tools that you take the thing and you like hold it and you pull down on the strap and then that lift would make it go up?
Yep.
Like that.
Yeah, Batman's had one. The Shadows had one. Howard Hughes rescued the Rocketeer with one. James Bond had one. All the cool guys have a gyrocopter. Doc Savage.
Therefore, stands to reason that Todd needs to have one. Am I right? The logic here is flawless.
Yeah.
Oh, and a tilt rotor. That's another cool one. That's sort of like the best way I have to describe it is a gyrocopter on speeds. It's all of these are looking for vertical liftoff, VTOL. And all of them are cool. The Quinjet does that as well, by the way.
Yeah.
But the Quinjet, which is comes behind the Quadjet, that's made up. Although, is it?
Well, I don't know.
We could make one.
Mm-hmm. Possibly.
Now, according to House of M,
Mm-hmm.
Steve Rogers was a captain in the
Space Force. Oh no, that's
no, it was in the Air Force. This is one of the things that remember we're talking about, like they tweak a little things because everybody knows he's a captain in the Army, but not in this.
No.
In
why that was
this,
named
he's
a
in the
choice.
Air Force. Yeah.
Just to
So.
Yeah. He likes to bop around.
And then Shadowcat, Kitty, also known as Ariel, also known as Sprite. She's what?
She's not a computer tech? She's pretty bright.
Yeah. If you know anything about Kitty Pryde, and she's one of my favorites, you'd think, she was one of the few who could like fix Cerebro back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have thought computer tech, maybe, but she's in House of M, she's a teacher.
Yeah, she always got along with Professor X well that way, so
yeah.
I guess that's not too much of a leap.
And where's she working? Because originally she was like born and raised outside of Chicago, but that's not where she's teaching. And again, this is one of those things of like people are sort of scattered to the four winds. Kitty is in Cincinnati for no reason that we can think of. Some of them are up in Connecticut. Some of them are, Colossus is back in Russia, which kind of makes sense, but still.
Maybe she's moonlighting as a DJ at WKRP.
That's a real place.
If you're ever wondering.
And the first. Okay. Fourth one should be Namor.
Should be
Should be Namor.
on the actual multiple choice on the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about
Because
that.
that would be the answer.
Yeah. Namor. Full name Namor Mackenzie, because of course.
It rings, rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. Let's unpack this a minute. Namor was the first published mutant. Now,
Mhm.
you might think it's the fact that he can, breathe underwater, etc., that makes him a mutant. No. It's the fact that he has wings on his feet, and if you ask Todd, it's also the fact that he's like, kind of pink colored as opposed to blue
Right, because all the other Atlanteans don't have wings, and for the most
on their
part,
feet. Yeah,
are blue.
they're kind of blue. So Namor debuted
Color-wise, some of them are very happy.
1939. Yeah, so Namor debuted in 1939, and that was like, it was Funnies Inc. or Timely. It was pre-Marvel. That's how old he is. Now there are some mutants in the Marvel universe that are like, "Hi, I was born in the dawn of time. I went to the Crusades," that kind of thing. But they didn't appear in the comics until after
Decades later.
1939.
Yeah.
So yeah, Namor.
Yeah. Apocalypse, you might have
First
showed up
mutant.
at the dawn of time, but she didn't actually show up in the comics till the 2000s or the 80s.
Exactly. So I will fight you on this. Fight you. Don't fight me. I'm horrible.
Exactly.
So again, illustrations tonight are from and inspired by, and the questions, House of M. If you know anything about Marvel continuity and in Marvel trivia, just in general, it's like a Where's Waldo. You sit there, you read the books, you read them again, you peek at them, etc.
And or if you're a fan of the What If series, either the comics or the recent Disney Plus thing, where they basically take a character and go, "Yeah, let's look at him slightly this way."
Yeah, and while we don't like to normally give away the ending, we think it stands to reason there's a chance that by the end of the whole series, things might be back where they were, or maybe they won't. Anyway,
because there's always the possibility somebody's still out there in the periphery somewhere.
Always a possibility that somebody's doing this to Wanda on purpose. So it was written by Brian Michael Bendis, a Peabody Award-winning comics creator. He's had best-selling stuff at Amazon, New York Times, everything.
Yep.
He's done stuff for Marvel, he's DC, etc.
Yes. As well as some independent work of his own with Buck Powers, that became a TV show, and a few others.
Miles Morales, you know him. Brian was a co-creator. He's done some stuff. I think he's going to have a good career. And
he might become something.
There you go. Watch that kid. Yeah. And the art was by Olivier
Capiel.
Yeah, that.
He's French.
Figure that one out. He's done House of M. He's done Legion of Superheroes. He's done Thor.
Yes.
Great stuff.
Yeah. Did a really great run on Thor with J. Michael Straczynski, which a lot of that got pulled into the first Thor film as well. So it's also
exactly.
Yeah.
So next week, we're taking a radically different turn, and we're doing Tales of the Super Pets.
Right.
P-A-I-L-S.
Because the League of the Super Pets. Crypto, and Friends.
There's the movie coming out in a couple of weeks. It's apparently based on a graphic novel or two that's also coming out in a couple of weeks. It's probably really great, but I'm going to be honest with you. Todd loves these kinds of things. And Todd has been wanting us to do either a Tales of the Super Pets or, God help me, a Pet Avengers Forever.
Yes. Which we might
next
still
week,
do Pet Avengers down the line. Just to shake things up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just in case anybody starts to think we have even the vaguest attempt at cool. No. And then we'll do Great Lakes Avengers.
Yeah, the challenge there is finding a book.
I think there's like an issue tonight. JJ, the winner and champion.
Woo woo.
And okay, so again, thanks for coming by. We appreciate it. Send us an email if you've got a book that you've got. If you've got a collection of the Great Lakes Avengers, we can give it a shot.
We'll put it right up. We'll put it right up there with the Justice League out of Detroit.
There was the British Avengers, so who knows? Like the other thing. But yeah, send emails to the.com.nation@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, follow, stalk,
Yeah.
Tales.
Send us suggestions.
And be kind to animals this week because we're doing Tales of.
And like I said, because of that tweet,
I think he's barking at the wrong tree.
Am I? Okay. I thought that was a perfectly good pun.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
See ya.
Good night.